So this is video part C, continuing on with building our VEX robot in SolidWorks. And so here's this adapter, and again, the 1/8 inch square shaft will fit in this and spin freely. Um, so one thing I just want to point out, I know that some of you haven't used SolidWorks before, there is a measure tool that you can use to measure different things, but a lot of times you don't even have to use that. So like, for instance, if I want to find how wide this section is here. If I click on this face, I'm just going to hold down my middle scroll key and then hold down the control key and pick on this face. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, it says normal distance 0.25. So again, that just verifies that that's 1/4 of an inch. And if I click on this circle right here, you can see it says 0.16. So if you have a 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch square shaft, if you do diagonal across, then you get something like around 0.16. If I want to have more decimal place accuracy, I can go to options here and under document properties, click on units, and right now you can see that set to 2-place accuracy. So if I want 3-place accuracy, I can do that. And now if I click on that circle, Okay, so let me try that again. If I click on that, I get 0.16. If I let's click on this length right here. So now that's 3 places. So that would just mean that this is actually 0.160. And you might check, like if you do a diagonal of 1/8 of an inch, so 0.125, and of course you can just divide by radical 2 divided by 2. That's just the the cosine of 45 degrees, and you would get a number that's a little bit bigger. So you might say, well, that if the diagonal is a little bit bigger than 0.160, that's not going to fit in there. But if you look carefully at the VEX square shafts, they do have rounded edges so that it actually does fit in. Yeah. So anyways, so we have these parts, right? We have also the insert here. And one thing I'll point out in this is you'll notice that that a lot of the metal that in your library that has square holes, right? It actually has these little arcs here. And so one of the teams actually put those in just because it makes it easier to, when you do your constraining of your parts in an assembly. In other words, if you have like a round screw and you want to get it centered inside a square hole, well, you'd have to do a little bit of extra work, put it in a sketch, maybe a diagonal or something so you can constrain it to the center. But if you have these circular features, then all you have to do is turn on the eyeball here, turn on this thing called temporary axes. And now you can see, right, we have an axis there. So that's going to make it really easy if we have a round screw that we want to be lined up right in the center of that square hole, to just constrain the 2 axes together, and then it will be perfect. So that's the reason for that. So now we're going to go ahead and create the assembly. So if I click on the new button there and just double click on assembly. Okay, so one of the things I want to do is set up the environment, and yours probably looks a little bit different than this. So if we fly out this the little gear button there and click customize, what I've done, I've shut off, like you probably have the command manager. I just trying to keep things simple, so I'm going to turn that off and just turn on a few things. So one of the things we want is features turned on, okay, and sketch. And then I have standard and standard views turned on, and I have view heads up turned on, and I have the task pane turned off. So that's this thing over here. We're not going to need that right now, so I'm just going to turn that off. So anyway, so that gives me a pretty clean environment here, again, just to try and keep things simple. And so I'll have to pick up here with the next video.